Okay.
Carlo, ayos ka lang ba dyan?
Yes lang. Feeling lucky.
This is Season 3, Episode 5 of 2T on the Tiebreaker Times podcast family. 2T is, of course, as always, presented by Smart. With Smart, live smarter for a better world. Through this initiative, Smart aims to create the spark in everyone to help change the world for the better. Speaking of changing the world for the better, the landscape of Philippine basketball turning and turning. How sweep it is, Mr. Pamintuan. It's a 6-0 sweep para sa Gilas through the qualifiers. More importantly, it's a back-to-back wins to kontra sa Korea. I think this is the first time ever Gilas has won 2 in a row kontra sa Soccer.
Sabi mo nga, Magu, the team waited 8 long years. No? Gilas, Pilipinas, Philippine basketball fans waited 8 long years to beat Korea again. Pero itong mga batang to, impatient, very impatient. They waited 4 days before securing their second win against Korea. It's just a great feeling because nakita natin yung tiyaga na binigay nung coaching staff and teaching, a lot of these players. Because again, you have to put everything into context. The players who did not see action in the November Manama bubble in Bahrain, yung last na laro niyan, collegiate pa. Diba? Or for RJ Abarientos, it's longer. So napakatagal nilang nawala sa basketball. But to be able to put in the work and practice, to be able to learn the system of Coach Tab, and then get for us to see it in action, see it result into wins, it just makes you beam with pride. Kasi grabe yung pinagdaanan ng mga players. And I'm just so happy that it resulted to 3 wins here in Clark.
I know you just finished up wrapping up yung post-game press con. Yung coach ba ng Korea, kamusta dyan sa loob ng CHAMBUBBLE natin? Ano pa ba?
May nagtanong yung kaibigan natin, si Matthew Lee tayo nagtanong, sabi niya, Coach, your first 2 games against the Philippines as head coach of Korea, we've always considered the Korea as rivals of the Philippines. What can you say about the rivalry? Tapos yung translation nung katabi ko, sabi niya, I never really considered the Philippines as a rival. Parang, okay. May susulat na naman si Coach Tam sa whiteboard na next time kalaban niya kayo.
Pero I guess yung angulo niya doon, I'm guessing parang I think Coach Norman put it best. It can't be a rivalry if you keep losing to the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Another team has to win. So baka para sa kanya, baka ngayon magsisimula. Kasi 2013, hindi pa naman siya yung head coach eh. Siya ngayon ang hindi pa rival ng Pilipinas, di pa siya nananalo.
Tama nga naman. Teka, Magu, Happy Father's Day, Magu.
Ay, salamat.
Na nanonood sa atin ngayon, including my dad is actually watching right now. Hi, Dad. Happy Father's Day.
Good evening po. Happy Father's Day po. At napakagandang Father's Day gift ng Gilas Pilipinas sa lahat ng basketball-loving Filipinos, Carlo. I can't put into words what I witnessed. I could not believe that in my lifetime, Gilas Pilipinas, Philippine basketball as a whole, would outshoot South Korea in a game. 14 of 37 3-point shooting in Gilas, 10 of 35 lang, less than 30% shooting yung Soccer from the 3-point line. I couldn't believe my eyes when I was witnessing it, Carlo.
Well, di tayo sanay eh. Sanay tayo, nakukuha natin sa offensive rebound, siguro mas maraming konting free throw, mas maraming drive si Jason Castro, pero
kahit nung Wednesday lang, diin yung laban, 'di ba? Hindi talaga shootout na tayo yung mananaig eh. Pero ito, Carlo, it must have been surreal in there.
Na Dwight Ramos sila eh. I mean,
5 of 8, tama ba? 5 of 8?
He had a spectacular game. Dwight Ramos, nauubusan na tayo ng words to describe how well he has been playing because again, this is a player who has not yet seen action in, collegiate level here in the Philippines. Siyempre, naglaro na ng collegiate in the US, pero hindi pa natin nakikita in the collegiate level. Our first memory of him will be already wearing a Gilas Pilipinas jersey in Manama against Thailand. Tapos ngayon, isipin mo yung mga nilaro niya, 5 games wearing that jersey and performing the way he did. like he looked like the leader of the squad. As we take a look at the numbers nitong si Dwight Ramos, 19, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. Tapos yung crucial, of course, yung ginawa niya nung endgame, di ba? That free throw that sealed it, the offensive rebound that made sure there was no coming back for Korea. Pero may
Sinadya ba yung miss? Sinadya yata yung miss.
I don't think so. It
To run out the clock? Okay.
It should have been a make. But there was an offensive rebound. Pero may ano ko eh. May isa akong hindi gusto kay Dwight Ramos. Can I just say, meron akong hindi talaga trip. Kasi dumating siya dito sa press con. Pawis na, may sugat pa sa muka. Pero layo pa rin ng gwapo niya sa atin lahat eh.
Asa na ba si Stan Hardinger?
Ba't ganon?
Tawagan natin si Christian. Christian, may bubulabog ng kapugian dyan sa Pampanga. Pupuntahin natin dyan.
Ba't ganon? Unfair.
Yun eh. No? But shooting 5 of 8 from the 3-point line, he burst onto the scene with that perfect game against Thailand. The 7 for 7 shooting ba yun? Or basta he went on that perfect game. Although ang hirap ulitin ng perfect game, it has seemed like he has gotten stronger every time matutunghayan natin siya. Every time we lay eyes on this guy, every time we get to watch him, cover him, parang palakas pa ng palakas, parang palawak pa ng palawak yung arsenal niya, Carlo.
Yep. Personally, I can't wait to watch more of Dwight Ramos. Kasi
pogi.
Oo eh. Nag-agree naman agad.
Buti na lang, kasal na kayo, wala nang bawian, no?
Nag-agree naman agad eh. Deny mo ba? Deny mo bang magandang lalaki yung tao? Hindi.
Dalawa anak ko, pogi yun.
Tropa-tropa lang. Pero pogi talaga eh. Wala kang magagawa. Pero Magu, as I said, no, I can't wait to see how he develops. Lagi kong naaalala yung sinabi ni Coach Tab Baldwin before in 2015 kay Jason Castro when he was imploring him to be a leader. Siyempre, we all remember that team. It was post Jimmy Alapag. Diba? When the team needed a leader. Of course, may mga leaders dyan. Pingris is an emotional leader. Gabe Norwood is a leader as well. Pero gusto niya talaga si Jason to become, a vocal leader, which was not necessarily in Jason's game. Parang hindi talaga siya masalita eh.
Hindi personality ni Jason.
Yep, wala talaga sa kanya eh. And that is true for Dwight. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, Magu, di ba? Parang some of the biggest moments of the match involved him, but you never saw any kind of emotion coming from Dwight. Kasi ganun siya eh. He's a professional. This is a business. Parang ganun yung atake niya sa laro. Ganun yung approach niya. So when he learns to balance out that way of thinking with being more vocal on the floor, then he will become an even better player, and I'm very excited to see more of that.
Grabe talagang. And yung inspiration, yung pa nga, hindi pa nga ganun ka-vocal like you said, pero his game, he lets his game do the talking, and he is inspiring everybody, that young Gilas Filipina squad. Very inspired. Hindi lang yung Carlo. Pati mga Gilas faithful, sayang-saya sa pinapakita ng mga bata natin. Katulad na lang ni John Patrick Magat, watching from Jeddah. Congrats sa Chambang 6-0 Gilas. Di ba? Matik, hindi pa tayo may ere nito. May congrats na doon sa Chamba. CHAMBUBBLE eh. Ano pa magagawa mo?
Magu, one very quick example dun sa pinag-uusapan natin tungkol kay Dwight Ramos, no, na hindi siya ganon ka-vocal. For example, there was defensive rotation. Kunwari, nag-drive yung Korea, forced a sag in the middle, nag-kick out pass sila. So, pumasa sa isang spot, tiniikot yung bola, di ba? A vocal leader would have talked it out with his teammates kung sino yung tatakbo dun sa last. Kung sino yung hahabol to challenge the shot. Instead of doing that, which guys like Mike Nieto are more used to, doing, si Dwight, makikita niya yung mali na rotation, tapos tatakbuhin niya. That's the difference right now.
Siya na.
I mean, Coach Tab already talked at length about it, that he corrected so many errors on the floor, and that is why he played a lot of minutes. Pero isang concrete example yun. When there is a missed rotation somewhere, instead of being there, talking to everyone while everything was happening, i-correct niya. Makikita niya yung mali and he'll try to correct it himself. But he will become a deadlier player when he balances that with talking to his teammates.
Aside from Dwight Ramos, of course, the entire team, they put on a show for everybody. These 3 wins in this Clark CHAMBUBBLE, talaga naman nakaka-impress. Sabi nga ni Jeffrey Zaffe, not once but twice. Nice victory over South Koreans. Youth is the key. South Koreans, youth is the key. Yung pala yun. We all know this is a very young team, 22 average age, 25 being the oldest, 17 being the youngest. This youth movement by the SPP. Si Lebron, di ba? Di ba 17 lang yun? 17 lang yata, nakalista eh. High school pa lang yun, di ba? Si Lebron Lopez.
Hindi na tulad nung high school tayo.
Hindi, hanggang 18 na high school ngayon, ano ka ba? Hanggang 18 na.
Oh, 18 na yun.
Senior. Bata pa rin. Teenager pa rin. Dalawa silang teenager dyan, Kai, di ba?
Yep. Pero sabi nga ni Coach Tab, no, he is not in here just picking youth because of youth. Hindi niya pinipili yung mga bata dahil bata sila. Pinipili niya yung mga tingin niya may investan niya ng oras at panahon at effort to be able to develop those players into great Gilas Pilipinas players in the future. That's the investment.
We've been hearing a lot of this the last week or so. Sabi ni Brian Bulan, hello mga sirs, congrats Gilas. Parang di na ata need ng PBA players. Actually po, sooner or later, yung PBA po kakailanganin. You're gonna need guys like Matthew Wright. You're gonna need guys like R.R. Pogoy to plug in some holes. Ito po Asian level. Ang pinaghahandaan po natin 2023. Yun po, that's all I can say about that. The PBA is still where the best talent is. Yung availability lang will be mas madaling syempre maging available yung mga estudyante kaysa sa professional player. Pero stop the PBA bashing kasi po, pagka po walang PBA, ano pa pangarapin ng mga bata? Kahit lahat po itong naglalaro sa Gilas, PBA pa rin ang end result niyan. Mula bata hanggang maging high school, hanggang maging college ka, PBA pa rin po ang pupuntahan dahil dun po magiging buhay basketball ka na. Hindi ka pwedeng nandyan lang sa national team every 4 years, every 2 years maglalaro. Hindi naman po uubra yun.
And for me, Magu, marami nga, no, there is a lot of talk about the PBA and not wanting to lend players to Gilas Pilipinas. But if you remember, Kiefer Ravena, R.R. Pogoy, Troy Rosario, Justin Chua, Raul Soyud. I may be forgetting names. Surely I'm forgetting names.
They were part of the 6-0.
Exactly. At least those 5 were with this team training in Calamba before they were supposed to fly out to Qatar. They were part of it. Walang usapan yun. Sila yung ni-request ni Coach Tab Baldwin and they were made available by their mother teams and the PBA. So, kung hindi na-cancel yung Doha, naglaro yung 5, di ba? But unfortunately, it had to be canceled. And of course, the PBA was trying to restart its season na na-push back. If you remember, they were targeting it much earlier than July. But because it was pushed back, then, di ba, hindi naman tayo makaka-adjust ng ganun lamang. So, I think we all have to be kinder to each other in this stage kasi tayo lahat nahuhula ng gagawin eh. In this pandemic, we're not sure of anything. So, let's just be kinder in general to everyone. Stop the bashing kasi wala naman talagang mapupuntahan eh.
Just to add to that or to conclude that, I guess, all I want to say is impressive yung Gilas Pilipinas ngayon. Napakaganda ng ginagawa ng SBP. But this is all supposed to bring unity to Philippine basketball. Di ba dapat nag-6-0 na, binak-to-back na natin yung Korea. Ba't kailangan pang, di ba? Hindi na natin kailangan magturuan pa ganito, ganon. Pagka nga natatalo, nagtuturuan. Ngayon nananalo, nagtuturo pa tayo. This is supposed to be for the good of Philippine basketball. Hopefully, we just take it in stride na lahat tayo masaya ngayon. Wala na tayo dapat i-down o dapat wala kasi dito. Ganon. This is all, makita nyo kahit yung mga PBA players na, yung mga dating player na ng Gilas lalo, masayang-masaya din sila para sa Philippine basketball. Because this is the future of Philippine basketball. All of these guys here, they will be part of the PBA. I'm 1,000% sure of that.
For sure. And yung maganda dito, Magu, ngayon na nabuo na tong team na puro bata, if you insert, 2 or 3 PBA players, they will have a lot of people who can tell them about the system.
Yeah.
Diba? Ganun yung transfer of knowledge, eh, diba? Parang no smart Gilas one. Similar to what we did with with Coach Raiko Toroman. Of course, we all remember that team with Baroka and Lassiter and Lutz.
Ang pinasok doon si Jimmy,
Jason.
si
Yep.
Kelly, Jason, and RDO.
Yep.
Diba?
Yep.
Si Jason ba sinama doon? Di yata. Hindi.
Diba?
Jimmy, Kelly, RDO, and Asi.
Wala
Yung
bang
apat.
Ryan yun? Baka may Ryan din yun. Somewhere, some combination of those players yung pinasok. But the thing is, it's the system. Diba? When you have more players, dati nga 20 yung nasa training pool eh. Ni Coach Tab, diba? Before they ultimately cut it down heading into Clark. But really, the more players that we involve in the program, may it be pro, may it be amateur, may it be high school, it doesn't matter. The more people we get involved in the program, the better it is for the national. Kasi ganun yan eh. If you look at Korea, if you look at the golden age of Chinese Taipei, it was system. Kahit sino yung ipasok mo, alam yung sistema. Kasi ganun yung investment nila in the national team. So now we have belief in the system because we've seen the results, and hopefully like everyone just buys in. Pagtulungan natin, tulong-tulong lahat ng facets ng Philippine basketball to really invest more into this program because we are moving in the right direction clearly as what we saw with those 2 wins against Korea and that one against Indonesia.
Kaya nga sabi ni Ner Lobo, 6-0, congrats, Gilas lang ang sakalam. Next up for Gilas, Carlo, yung Belgrade, the OQT in Serbia. But before that, dyan na ba kayo magsistay or sa Inspire ulit sa Kalamba? They're setting up, habang nandito pa in China, a tune-up game. Maybe 1 or 2 between Gilas and China to get us ready for the OQT. Anong latest mong balita dyan, Carlo?
I think that's what they want to happen in terms of kung sigurado na ba or hindi pa. I'm not sure. But Coach Tab already mentioned it nung press conference. They are staying sa Quest Hotel with the Chinese team and practice here at AUF kasi bubble na eh.
Yeah. Safe na eh. Okay na eh. Huwag na kayo lumabas kasi magsa 7 days, 14 days na naman pag naglabasan pa, di ba?
Exactly. Kasi may risk yan eh. If you allow the players to go home to their families, I mean, with all due respect to everyone involved, natural yung risk, di ba? If anyone goes out of the bubble, natural yung risk. So to avoid all of that, just keep them in the bubble and then have them tested, I think, one more time before they fly out to Belgrade sa 24th. So they will be keeping the team together. Habaan na lang yung sakripisyo ng team kasi hindi muna nila makikita yung mga mahal nila sa buhay. But, I mean, it's for the country. It's for the basketball program and it's for them. I mean, going up against Bogdanovic, against Pokushevsky, against Boban, I mean, paano ka hindi matututo nun? Kahit mamain ka nun, you will learn something from the experience, di ba? Parang it as Coach Raiko and Tab said, don't expect miracles, but know that this series of games, itong dalawa against Serbia and Dominican Republic, will teach you more than a win against a lesser team will teach you. Kasi wala nang matuturo yan eh. I mean, if you win against a team that you should beat, you don't get a lot of lessons from that. But losing to some of the best countries in basketball, I mean, that should be a great teacher for our players.
Not just skill-wise, that'll test their character. That OQT will test the character of this young Gilas squad. Grabe boost ng ulan dito ngayon. Diyan ba, kamusta? Sinasabayan yung mga tres ng Gilas?
Parang di naman. Hindi naman masyado.
Grabe, sinasabayan. Nakita yung shooting ng Gilas na nagpaulan na rin ngayon. Sabi ni Carol Reyes, hi Sir Carlo Pamintuan. Congrats sa coverage mo. Stay safe po dyan. Hello din po, Miss Carol. Excellent job as always, Carlo, keeping the entire country and beyond updated on everything that's going on in there.
Tsaka magpapasalamat lang ako sa lahat ng Kapampangan kasi nakikita ko yung suporta nila sa kalsada dito. Pag pupunta di pa ako nangangampanya mag-vote.
Tatakbo ka na naman governor na ito eh.
Governor. Councilor lang muna. Relax. Nakikita ko talaga pag nakabas yung Gilas, papunta sa pabalik. Alam mo yung masakit man sa kanilang hindi sila makalapit, kumakaway na lang galing sa bus. So sa lahat ng Kapampangan, dakal pong salamat keng suporta ayo keng Gilas kasi akakit nyo naman kini mong dalan habang panayan nyo la akit da na susuportan nyo la. They see your support And
Yeah.
that also inspires them, no?
Ang laki bagay nung Carlo because I'm guessing, they can feel us through social media or alam nilang everybody else around the country supporting them. Pero yung makita mo visually, when you guys, di ba, dahil bawal nga, closed door tayo, but when they see it outside the gymnasium in the bus, laking boost yan, no? Confidence boost.
For sure. And then it reminds you of what you're fighting for. Parang gano'n na lang kasimple, di ba? Parang nakita mo si Manong na nasa kalsada, kumakaway sa'yo. Tapos maalala mo, hindi, lalaban ako para dyan. Gusto ko masaya siya mamaya. Parang gano'n kasimple, but napakalaking bagay.
Si Jonel Estrella says, lucky daw, ha 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 ha. Hindi po lucky. Naglaro kasi sila sa CHAMBUBBLE. Kaya nagkaganon yun. Carlo, if that China game, the China tune-up game pushes through, it's probably gonna be tomorrow or Tuesday.
Not tomorrow.
Kasi, syempre, para bago magkalasan sa bubble, baka kailangan na rin umalis ng China. It's gonna be pretty soon kung sakaling matutuloy.
Sinabi na ni Coach Tab that he will be giving the team a break tomorrow. So, 22nd or maybe 23rd. Again, nothing's definite until it's announced.
And until pumayag din ng China, of course.
Of course. It's a two-way street.
Ano yung ikulong mo? Bawal lumabas. Lalaro pa kayo isa pa. Kandado nyo yung quest. Bawal malabasin.
Kasi sila Magu, if they go home or go elsewhere, wala ring sense eh. 'Di ba? Parang dito ka na lang, may court na para sa iyo, may hotel na maayos na okay yung setup na bubble, na safe ka. 'Di ba? Take advantage of the opportunity.
Hindi kasi sila kahit pag-uwi nila magka-quarantine ulit eh.
Kaya nga,
diba?
So didiretso na sila ng Canada. They did all of their testing here. They will fly out of here, papuntang Canada where they will have their OQT. I think Greece and Canada yung kalaban nila. So mabigat din.
Okay.
The Canadian team will have a couple of NBA players. RJ Barrett, I think, will be playing for them. So should be fun.
It's gonna be interesting times once again for international basketball. Pero locally naman, nagtatanong si Carlo Reyes, kailan po babalik ang PBA? Very early July ang pagkakalam natin, Carlo. And we all can't wait as well.
Live po kaya, Sir Magu, kung matuloy yung Pinas at China? I don't think so. I highly doubt that they will make a tune-up live. I mean, with this current setup.
Ganito na lang po. Mag-piso para kay Carlo tayo. Magdodonate tayong piso-piso para sa hotel room ni Carlo. Tapos, bawal ka umuwi, magagalit misis na ito sa atin. Hindi ka pwede umuwi. Nakatambay ka doon sa dito natin si stream sa 2OT. Piso para kay... So, hotel room, pang merienda, ano pa kailangan mo dyan? May underwear ka pa? Panlaba? Mga ganon?
Meron naman. Padala nyo lang sa Paymaya ko lahat.
Hindi ka pa nagsa-side bin ng boxer short.
Hindi pa naman. May laundry service naman May laundry service naman.
May bayad din 'yan. So piso para kay Carlo, ilo-launch. Paano ba mag-launch ng ganun? Para lang makapanood kaming lahat. Diyan ka na lang. Lagot kayo sa misis ni Carlo, ayun yung pauwin. Ito ang dami nakatutok sa atin. Over 450 right now. I guess everybody feeling the same as we do. Very proud, very happy sa mga developments sa Philippine basketball as a whole. Kita natin, even on social media, puspusan yung pag-iensayo ng mga paborito nating PBA teams in Batangas and elsewhere. Pukpok na pukpok sila. Ang gilas Pilipinos natin, binak-to-back yung Korea, inisweep yung Clark Bubble 3-0, inisweep yung qualifiers as a whole na 6-0. Kaya bago pa naman magsimula to, Carlo, parang sure na tayo. Laking kumpiyansa lang, 99.9% kumpiyansang papasok tayo sa FIBA Asia Cup sa August. Kasi nga, may isang Indonesia eh. Dalawang Korea, sandwich by isang Indonesia. Alam naman natin papasok na. But by virtue of these back-to-back wins, Carlo, it just made it sweeter na okay, nandun tayo sa FIBA Asia Cup, August, paglalaro ang gilas natin dyan. It's gonna be the same crew as well. Maganda ngayon, tuloy-tuloy na yung training. Magka-tuna po hindi kontra China, tapos pupuntang Belgrade, tapos sana makahanap pa ng pag-tuna pa doon, di ba, ng iba pang teams. And then bumalik dito para pagdating ng August sa Indonesia, panlaban to, di ba?
Sorry, titigilan lang kita kasi may nakita lang akong comment na hindi ko trip sa ano natin,
Mm.
sa comments natin. So, Guaps, yung Carlo Reyes pwedeng pakiban kasi we do not condone any homophobic comments about anything. Kung ganyan kayo mag-isip, sarilihin nyo na lang, di ba? I mean, wag nyong gamitin yung platform namin to spread hate, di ba?
Yeah.
If you are a hateful person, that's on you, but don't use our platform for it. So, pakiban yung nag-type ng something about yes, please. Positive vibes lang tayo lagi, di ba? Sinabi ko na rin sa...
You can criticize pero walang ganyan. Walang mga ganyan
For
hirita.
sure. If you
Tama
criticize,
yan.
sasagutin namin. I mean, the best way we could discuss with you, but homophobic slurs, no place here in 2OT. Anyway.
Ito, Pamba-good vibes.
Hmm.
Then B Glory says, Sir Carlo, labas mo na Gcash mo.
Pay Maya nga.
Pimaya. Tama.
Brought to you
Lagay
by...
mo yung yung sa mga nakaw na stream, di ba? May nakasulat.
Halata ka eh. Halatang nanonood ka ng nakaw na stream.
Oh, hindi naka Smart Giga Life na ako. Ano ka? Alam mo tagal ilang dekada na ako naka-smart pero natutunan ko na yung dahil nga doon tayo nakakanood. Katulad pagka on the way ka sa trabaho, di ba? Parang napapanood mo yung the game before. Shout out to Donde Aris Ebrado. Kamusta po, sirs? May 2 pesos ka raw sa Paymaya kay Michael Kenneth po. Mga taga Negros Occidental, kamusta po kayo? Kay Virgie Ortega. Yun, si Kim Sarmiento Mitra. Labas mo na. Guaps, pakigawa ng graphics. Yung gumagalaw-galaw lang na ganun.
Sige lang. Ang dami nanonood sa atin, mag-480. So, pagbigyan natin lahat. Sa lahat ng gustong magpa-shoutout, type lang kayo bigla. We'll read 10 each ni Magu just to appreciate you guys. Mabagay pangalan.
Abang naghanap tayo, ito nga yung tinatanong ko sa iyo kanina. Ano na masasabi ng coach ng soccer? Tanong ni Jamil Ibrahim. CHAMBUBBLE?
Hindi daw niya rival yung Pilipinas eh.
Ayan, bago.
Shoutout na Magu.
Di ba, Carlo? Sige.
Si Marek Raven Mamaril Cruz, si Kerwin Velasco, Ernest Domingo, John Louis Legaspi, Patrick Angelo Amable, Loremia Godoy from Canberra, Australia, si Reggie Miller nag-comment, hello Reggie Miller, Nasser Pantao, John Patrick Maga, Ralph Pardillo, Calvin Rocky, Taway Guevara. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Yung tatanong ko sa iyo, buti na lang, nag-scroll din ako. Halos ito rin yung tanong ni Nasser Pantao. Sino po makakasama sa group ng next qualifier ng Gilas, Sir Magu? Wala na pong qualifier. Tapos na po yung qualifiers. Ang susunod natin, yung actual na po na FIBA Asia Cup sa August sa Indonesia. Yun yung gusto ko itanong kay Carlo. Mm-hmm. Carlo, etong tayo 6-0. Yung Korea 4-2. Yung ganyan, di ba? Tapos yung China, actually pati yung Korea, antayin pa kung may mga deduction sila kung paano mangyari. Yung nakuha nating points, merong, di ba? Doon sa path ng pagkuha ng groups. So tayo, hindi lang natin makakatapat sigurado dyan, Jordan. Dahil 5-0 din yung Jordan. Malamang may sarili, di ba? May ganun yan sa ranking ba o sa record yun sa qualifiers. Alam ko, pagka yung dikit-dikit kayo sa mga sakalam sa taas, hindi kayo pwede magsama-sama.
Tama.
Kung 4 na group yan, pag-ihiwa-hiwalayin nyo, 4 na pinakamalakas, depending on either the points or the points scored or the ranking. Ganun po. Kaya nga po importante pa rin yung pagkaka 6-0 para hindi natin makakasama kagad na maaga, yung malalakas, di ba? Tama ba yun?
Pero kahit na pa, kaya. Kumbiyansa bigla.
Yan ang gusto ko. Uy, si Paolo Del Rosario. Si Paolo, miss ka raw niya, Carlo. Miss ka na raw niya.
Sabi ni Weng Cañete, Juventud, galing naman, 2 chamba. Oo nga eh. Chamba.
Ay mo nun, chamba pa. Chambalero, di ba?
My brother-in-law, Richard Brillantes, watching in Thailand. Kamusta?
Ayun, ang daming, about the next group na nga, no? And si Rohan De Castro says, hopefully they can include PBA players in the future para ma-feel na rin nila yung system ni Coach Tab. Believe in the program, then eventually the system will be our basketball culture. And that's, ako personally, I know Carlo too, Exactly my sentiments. Two off the top of my head, Matthew Wright and R.R. Pugoy. Those are just two of many na pwedeng pagpilian from the PBA level. Pero syempre at this point, like, remember nung nakakwentuhan natin si Japet Aguilar, sinabi na nga ni Japet din hindi na siya tumatarget na makasali pa ulit sa 2023. Hayaan na niya sa mga bata. Pero ang kaibahan naman yan, Junmar Fajardo, kung pwede pa raw, pwede rin siya sa 2023 if he can get back to full strength at kung mapapagbigyan siya ng pagkakataon, he would like to be part of the team kahit na turuan lang yung mga big man, di ba? So, yun kanya-kanya rin kasi si Junmar's 31. In 2023, he'll only be 33. Kaya pa makipagsabayan. Yung mga iba nating kasama paborito sa mga past gilas sa teams na nasa PBA, medyo nagkaedad na po. And pag inisip mo nga, the program is supposed to prepare everybody for 2023 when we host the World Cup. Siyempre, kukunin mo yung mga nasa late 20s, early 20s, mid-20s na. Para 2 years from now, bata pa rin sila. Hindi yung 34, 35, 36 na. Di ba?
Yep. May nagtanong kanina, AJ Edu binanggit din. Yep, definitely a possibility. But we hope na tuloy-tuloy yung pagre-rehab nung kanyang injury. Of course, sino ba naman ang hindi gusto na i-adjust ng FIBA yung rules nila and allow Jordan Clarkson to play as a local. Diba? If that happens, and then more fun. It'll be more fun for Team Philippines. Why not? Hopefully they do. Are we counting on it? Maybe not, kasi hindi naman talaga natin hawak yung decision. But let's just hope that it can be a possibility at some point in the future. Lots of talent, Magu. Nakita mo naman yung bata, di ba? Si Lebron Lopez. Nakita mo naman, hindi pa nakatapak ng college. But, can play against South Korea. Showed us what he can do in the few minutes that he was given. Pero, yung sa akin, may isa pa akong parang basketball thought na gustong i-share. Na, for me kasi, it's easy to get caught up with the hype of Lebron Lopez. Grabe yung athleticism. Kung makikita nyo lang yung mga dunks niya sa after practice sa Calamba, grabe talaga. So, pero dapat hindi din natin kalimutan, i-appreciate yung mga gumagawa ng maliliit na bagay that really makes a team great. You will not see their name a lot in terms of statistics kasi hindi naman talaga marami. Guys like Matt Nieto, guys like Isaac Go, yung mga ganun na will score 3 points, get a couple of rebounds, get an assist. But their overall imprint in the game is real. And the ones who value them are the coaches and their teammates. Diba? So relax lang sa pangbabash. Hindi dahil hindi nyo sila nakikita sa stat sheet, wala na silang ginagawa. Diba? It's not, basketball is not all about what you see dun sa stat sheet.
Carlo, warning. Tawag ka sa misis mo na. Dali.
Bakit?
Sa ngayon pa lang, kung tiga-tiga 2 piso lang ibibigay namin doon sa pang-hotel mo, may mga 1,000 pesos na tayo. Ang daming gusto mag-stay ka dyan at kuhanan mo. Kung sakaling matutuloy, hindi pa nga natin sure kung matutuloy yung tune-up ng Gilas tsaka China. No? Inaantay pa natin kung ano yung magiging formality dyan, kung papayag talaga lahat. Pero ngayon pa lang, Carlo, ang dami. Ang dami na nagdo-donate pa 2 pesos, 2 pesos.
May question si John Louis Legaspi. For you guys, ano pa major weakness ng lineup na to? Kasi potentially nasa development process pa, malakas na kaya maging powerhouse sa team na to. Sino maaaring madagdag? For me, it's not necessarily a weakness as it is a reality that they lack experience. I mean, these are 3 games that they played. I mean, ganun lang kasimple. The more games they play together as a unit, especially against teams that can teach them a lesson like Serbia and the Dominican Republic, the better it will be, not just for the system, but for these players individually. Diba? Going up against better players, that makes you want to be better. You want to get to that level. Kasi tignan nyo yung nangyari. SJ Belangel, Isaac Go, Ange Kwame, Mike Nieto, nakalaban yung Korea sa Jones Cup. Kinain sila ng buo. Kasi no chance. 1 half lang naglaro si Ricardo Ratliff because they were so dominant in that game. They did not need him in the second half. Now, those 4 players defeated Korea twice. Doesn't matter who the names are. It's the same Korean system. And they were able to learn from that loss to turn it into 2 wins for the national team. So that is what they're lacking right now. Those those experiences that will give them a lesson as a squad.
Tandaan po natin, while the core of this group has been together, sabi mo na sa Ateneo and some other tournaments in the past, these are the only 3 games they've really been together as a group.
Yep.
Kind of reminds you of 2012. Nung nagsimula yung grupo ni Coach Chot. Took care of business in the Jones Cup, and then 2013, gumanda na, nakaabot sa World Cup ng 2014. But in between that...
Nawala si Magu.
Nawala ba ako? Ako nawala, si Carlo nawala. Tuloy-tuloy ba? So ako, okay, si Carlo nawala. Tandaan lang po natin.
Sorry.
Tandaan natin yung 2012, yung for me pa rin, honestly, the highest level of Philippine basketball I've ever witnessed was 2014, na nakipagsabayan ng Gilas sa mundo over in Spain. But to get to that level, nag-2012 Jones Cup, nag-champion. Nag-2013 FIBA Asia Cup dito sa Pilipinas, nag-silver, and then umabot doon. But in between those tournaments, maraming tune-up game. Maraming beses na bugbog yung Gilas. Maraming exposure pinuntahan ko saan-saan yung Gilas para lang mapatalas, para lang mapatibay. Ito po, very impressive yung ginawa nila. These 3 games, 6 games sama may ibang windows. Pero tandaan po natin, like Carlo said, nothing beats experience, nothing beats exposure. Bigyan po natin ng oras. Dahil sabi mo nga, Carlo, long game ang hinahabol dito ng SBP, ng coaching staff, pati na rin ng mga players. Sabi mo kanina nung nagbukas ang Korea 9-0. Kita nyo ba, time out pa si Coach Tab? Di ba hindi? Tinignan niya paano re-react yung mga bata. Tinignan muna niya anong tibay na loob ng mga to. 9-0 na kagad. Usually, magta-time out ka. Pinabayaan ni Coach Tab. You dug yourself into a hole. You get yourself out of it. Nag-respond naman yung mga bata, 8-0 run kagad na sinagot, dikit kagad ang laban. Di ba, Carlo?
And para sa akin, it was more about Coach Tab wanting to know more about his players. Di ba? Tignan natin, kaya nyo ba? Parang ganun Every other coach would have called the timeout. Di ba? Parang it's a high-pressure environment. It's against Korea. Linggo, Father's Day, magkakasama yung magkakapamilya. So alam mo maraming manunood talaga sa TV dun sa laban na yun. But instead of calling the timeout, which would have made sense, siya parang, no, sige lang. Let's see if you can figure things out. And they did. I mean, 8-0 run, as you said. They were back in the ball game and they didn't have to be rescued with a timeout.
Yeah.
Ang lakas makapagpakumpiyansa nun na hindi ka sinalba ng coach mo. Yung ginawa niyong problema, yung pinabayaan yung run, nabawi nyo. So, pupunta ako sa bench na may kumpiyansa pa rin sa sarili ko na kaya, na I corrected my mistakes.
Reminds you of mga discarding Greg Popovich, discarding Yang Yao. Hinahayaan niya, di ba? Lalo na siguro, mas relax ng konti dahil qualified na tayo. Kaya po pwede ka nga mag-experiment na, sige, tignan natin ano gagawin ng mga bata.
Maraming mga nagtatanong Magusi, yung mga players daw na pwedeng idagdag like Jalen Green. Yung kay Jalen Green, it's a very delicate matter because naglaro na siya as a junior player for the US. It has happened before. Nangyari na before that a player was allowed to play for another country after playing for one country ng juniors, but it has to go through a process. Dapat may position paper pa yan may explanation kung bakit dapat maglaro si Jalen Green. I mean, for us, it's easy. It's to promote Philippine basketball. I mean, why would you not want your host to have the strongest lineup possible? But you have to convince FIBA to allow him to play.
Isang example, I guess, Carlo, would be, pero I think ibang tournament kasi. Jericho Cruz, if I'm not mistaken, has played for the Philippines in the SEA Games back in the day.
Games or Asian Games, it doesn't.
Di ba? Dahil hindi siya, pero pag sa FIBA, eto, naglaro naman siya for Guam. So, pwede yung gano'n. And he does hold a passport there anyway.
It's like how Stanley Pringle and Chris Ross and Christian Stanhardinger can all play in the Asian Games and Southeast Asian Games, no problem.
Yeah.
Kasi iba talaga yung eligibility rules nung competitions na yun.
Ngayon ganito naman. Kung pipilitin or talagang hindi papayagan na pwedeng mag-local si Jordan Clarkson, I love Kwame. I love his work ethic. I love his personality. I love what he brings to the team. Pero with maybe an AJ Edu coming back, and of course, meron ka pang Junmar and meron ka pang Justin Chua and other big guys who can support Kai. Kung yung Clarkson hindi nila papayagan local, payag kang si Clarkson na lang ang naturalized?
Pero it's all up in the air. I mean, 6 month of the year, tatanggal, no?
Di ba? Yun meron kang Kai, meron kang Junmar, meron kang Justin Chua, meron kang Tamayo, ang dami mo pang malaki. Pero syempre,
end of the day talaga, Magu, it's forming the strongest team possible for 2023. If it
team, emphasis on team.
Whatever combination of players would work for Coach Tab, I mean, siguro naman lahat tayo sold na, 'di ba? Sa sistemang binubuo niya, sa mga desisyon na ginagawa niya. I mean, there were many other point guards who could have been available for this bubble, but he picked RJ Abarientos from nowhere. Literally. From nowhere.
Grabe naman. Grabe naman. We have discussed about RJ Abarientos at length sa previous episode, pero kanina ganun ba rin yung tapang, Carlo, no?
Yep. And he picked SJ Belangel knowing exactly that people will be hating on that decision, saying, Atenista kasi kaya mo pinili eh. Alam niya yun. Alam niya.
Hindi ko makuha pa rin yung anggulong yan. Bakit ganon? Bakit Ateneo Gilas na to, Ateneo Pilipinas? Yung China lang po. Tignan niyo po yung China. Yung team na dinala nila dito, 6 po galing doon sa champion team nila, pati yung coach. Bali 7. Yun ang national team. Siyempre po, kung sino yung marunong may kabisado ng sistema, yun ang kukunin mong core. Na kahit na hindi sila yung palaging gamit, yung Baltasar naman, Tagalasal, bakit binababad? Dapat hindi, di ba? Pero binababad. Pero yung mga kasama niyang iba, yun yung support system para habang binubuo nila yung game plan nila, mabilis na napabilis mo na yung pag-develop dahil kabisado na yung sistema. I really don't get that side. Ang dami kasing angulo ng criticism sa atin, di ba? I don't get it. And I'm a Lasallian. Mind you. Mind you, di ba?
Di ba? Carl Tamayo is from UP, di ba? It doesn't matter. It's potential. It's what Coach Tab thinks that you can bring to the table.
It's for the Philippines. Huwag tayo maghanap ng dahilan, magwatak-watak na naman tayo. Hinahanap nating ito na nga may dahilan na nga tayo para mag-unite na naman.
Mm-hmm.
Sana po, bawasan na natin ganon. Eto, Carlo, interesting question kay meron akong unofficial answer. Baka si Carlo may official answer. Mm-hmm. Si MJV ang tinatanong, ano po mangyayari sa mga nag-skip this window like Australia, New Zealand, and Malaysia? Ngayon po, hindi pa naglalabas ng desisyon ng FIBA. Regarding, punta kayo doon sa groups page doon sa FIBA Asia, tas yung groups, makita nyo may asterisk yung Korea, China, and Chinese Taipei. Nasa boardroom ng FIBA. Nasa boardroom pa, wala pang desisyon kung anong gagawin. Dahil yung previous window, nag-skip yung China nga. Actually, dito lang naglaro ng 4 na laro. Ni isang laro, hindi pa naglaro yan. Dahil nga global pandemic mas hard hit yung China, syempre. Ang sabi-sabi ngayon sa mga investigasyon natin, kala mo si Idol Mike, tayo? Baka daw magka-1 point. Baka yun ang maging desisyon sa dulo. Yung points nila sa dulo, di ba, win-loss, tas may points. Para doon magbase na lang kung magka-qualify o hindi. Pagka ganun yung ginawa doon, baka yun na yung maging president. Etong Australia, New Zealand, and Malaysia naman, baka yun ang gamiting president. Di nag-skip din kayo, -1 point din kayo. Pag ganun po nangyari doon sa grupo ng New Zealand, Australia, Saudi Arabia, and Syria, ang kalalabasan po, magna-number 1 pa yata basta ang babagsak dahil magkaka-1 point, 3 silang 2-1. Babagsak pa doon sa 3rd place yung New Zealand. Sila yung sasali doon sa wildcard. Hindi ko alam ano official na tawag eh. Basta lahat po ng 3rd place, yung 6 na 3rd place na team, maglalaban-laban 2 weeks before the Indonesia Games in August. Early August mangyayari to. Silang magwa-wildcard na laban kung sino papasok. Which is, Indonesia is there now, so 3 na lang ang kukunin. Yung Indonesia pasok na yun as host. But Coach Raiko Torman still wants more games. Kaya masaya pa rin siyang magpa-participate sila doon sa wildcard round na yun. Dati-dati, Carlo, yun lang inahabol natin. Ngayon, hindi. Automatic kami.
Sa FIBA
nandito na kami. Di ba? Hindi, pagka sa iba. Hindi, yung mga parang OQT ng Olympics yan, di ba?
Yun. Tama yun.
Mag-3rd place lang. Hindi, pagka kasi pinag-usapan mo na Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, parang Olympics na yung Asian Games sa kanila. Not to hindi sa pagiging mayaman, pero it is what it is, di ba?
Nagtatanong ng update about Ray Suerte. I think he's getting better from his sprained ankle, pero sinabi na rin ni Coach Tab kanina sa press conference that he will only be picking 12 or 13 players from the group that is already here. Kasi nga, yung testing, yung protocol, nasa labas siya eh. Diba? Nasa labas siya eh. So, it's only what? Ano na ngayon? 20? Aalis sila ng 24. So, it's not enough days to be able to... I don't know kung pinatest nila na tuloy-tuloy si Ray Suerte while he was out. But Coach Tab already said na dito naman gagaling yung team. 12 or 13 players will fly to Serbia with the squad.
Tanong actually comment ni Sylvester Babanto, familiarity lang talaga sa system ni Coach Tab. Proven na sa international eh.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Tab, talk about his resume. Let's remind sa mga uninitiated o hindi pa nakakabalita, anong level ni Coach Tab, Carlo?
Olympic level. That's really all you have to say. I mean, and yung Olympic level na yon was that he had to beat Australia from New Zealand. Dati kasi yung Olympic qualifying, it was just between the two for Oceania before sila sumali sa FIBA Asia. So, that's it.
May mga ibang kasali naman doon. Yung Guam yata nandun, yung Tonga. Pero syempre, Australia at New Zealand lang yung naglalaban talaga.
Chaling kit yung binanggit ko na. Hindi naman sa pang-ano. Pero Australia is the giant that they had to slay. Ganun na lang yung sabihin natin. Coach Tab, sinabi ko rin kay I think Matt Ganuelas Rosser kanina, nag-comment ako dun sa tweet niya. Sabi ko, it reminds me somehow of your 2015 team. Yun, parang walang nag-superstar, just pure hard work. I know the practices, the hours that they did in Calamba, like what Gilas Pilipinas in 2015 did. Yung mga tatlo't kalahating oras na paulit-ulit. Tema ni Coach Tab. Hindi tinitigilan hanggat hindi nila nakukuha yung gusto niyang practice. Ganun siya eh. Parang in terms of just system, he wants something close to perfection. That's what he demands from his players. And that's why it works. As we've seen. Di ba? Parang if you look at our players, sabi mo nga kanina, average age was 22, youngest is 18, oldest is 25. Korea is averaging 26. Ngayon lang yata tayo nakadikit sa average height sa kanila kasi 6'6" sila. But in terms of experience, yung Lee Seong Yun, nakalaban na ni Ranidel, ni Laping. Diba? Mama na yung mga yan eh.
Nagpangabot pa eh.
In terms of experience, they should have an advantage when it comes to that. It was erased by our strength, which was mas marami tayong oras sa practice. Yun talaga yung lamang ng Gilas Pilipinas. Kasi Korea is coming off a season. Tapos nagbuo sila ng team on the fly. Kaya nga it was a combination of young players, some veterans who still agreed to join. But as Coach Tab said during the training in the bubble, sabi niya, lamang nila is they're physical and they're in game shape. Kasi galing silang laro. Lamang natin is that we have unlimited hours on the court together.
Yeah.
Because they did not have to worry about practice. Katabi nila yung gym kung kailangan nilang mag-workout, kung kailangan nilang mag-extra practice, extra shooting, extra kahit ano. The gym was theirs sa Inspire. So it was a big deal for them. Again, it just plays into what our commenters are saying na ato talaga eh. It's system. It's the system that works, and if you invest enough in the system, if you trust enough in the system, it will pay dividends for you.
Carlo, for the benefit of the late tuners, na-discuss mo na kanina pero tinatanong lang ulit ni Mark Augustine Lucero Sumastre. Sir Carlo, magte-training pa ba kayo ng ilang days dito sa bansa natin bago kayo pumunta ng Belgrade?
Yeah, they will stay inside the bubble. Possibly play against China in a tune-up game, as discussed by Coach Tab. Sigurado na ba? Not yet. I think the SBP will announce it if it will happen. But yes, they will be resting tomorrow and they will be training from there on in until they leave for the 24th. Waps, meron pang isa. Pakiba naman yung John Albert. Homophobic slurs again, BTS and stuff. Parang,
Wag ganun. Wag tayo ganun. Be classy. Be classy in victory.
Diba?
Be classy in victory. Minsan lang tayo ngayon pa nga lang tayo nag-back to back sa Korea. Wag
positive na lang.
Masaya tayo.
Kung gusto nyong mga asar, tungkol sa basketball.
Doon sa page nyo.
Hindi, tungkol sa basketball kung gusto nyo mang-asar tungkol sa
yeah.
basketball, kung tinalo natin sila and what not, go ahead, di ba? Sinabihan tayong chamba, tinalo natin sila. Sige, pagtripan natin sila lahat.
Kahit kami nagtitrip, tingnan nyo yung title nito, CHAMBUBBLE. Okay lang yun.
Keep it classy. Keep it respectful kahit paano, di ba? May tanong kanina Actually, maganda yung tanong. Sabi niya, si Mark Agustin Lucero Sumastre, sabi niya parang napansin daw niya na hindi pa masyadong marami yung plays na nararun for Kai. And sinagot niya rin naman, I think it was completely because of his limitations with practice. 'Di ba? Parang yung matuturo mo kasi kay Kai in that short amount of time that he was with the team is very limited. And if you will try to perfect it, yun yung babalikan mo. So if kunwari may playbook si Coach Tab ng 15 plays, alam ni Kai yung 5, siya yung pupuntahan dun sa 3. Edi malilimit talaga yung pwede mong gawin when Kai is involved in the game. But surely itong mga practices na to and the games that they had here should help Kai be more integrated with the system heading into their games against Serbia and Dominican Republic. So let's see. Let's hope that he will be more involved. And again, I hope that he plays better. Pero yung walang duda naman was that he impressed in the limited minutes that he saw.
Yeah, solid.
Kita mo 19 years old, nakikipagbanggaan kay Ricardo Ratliff. That alone, bago, that alone. Sinong 19-year-old ang willing makipagbanggaan kay Ricardo Ratliff?
Mamang-mama po yun. Nakita nyo naman, bato-bato yun.
Oo nga. Pero si Kai, sige lang. Banggaan lang sila ng banggaan. Hindi naman siya umuro. Kaya, shout out. I mean, mad respect to Kai Soto. May nangangamusta rin kay Carl Tamayo, no? Nagtatanong sila tungkol dun sa ankle. This game, he was rested for the simple fact that they want him to be in that squad that will be going to Serbia. Gusto nila si Carl doon. They need his height. They need his shooting from the outside. So, pahinga na muna against Korea. Pahinga ulit bukas. So, I think they will test it out if kung pwede nang mag-practice doon sa 22nd or 23rd.
Ang magandang balita lang doon, syempre nasaktan, di masyado magandang balita, but it's nothing serious. It's a regular sprain. It happens. It happens. It happens to every basketball player. Hindi siya yung mas matitinding tama na nakikita nyo pag sa NBA o sa PBA. At least it's a regular sprain. So a few days, hopefully, okay na.
Tapos nakakatawa ngayon, bago. Nakakatawa yung sorry a bit of a light moment lang. Kasi yung kinakainan ng team sa second floor and you have to take steps to be able to get to their eating area. So si Carl Tamayo, di ba? Hindi siya makapunta dun sa second floor. So yung ginawa ni Ma'am Yvette Ruiz, yung manager, dinala niya dun sa restaurant, pinakain niya ng steak. Tapos nung nalaman ng mga ibang tao na kumain si Carl Tamayo, Yvette, masakit din yung paa ko. Gusto rin magpalibre ng steak. It's one of those things na na kulitan lang ng team. Parang yun yung isa sa mga pinaka-gusto kong bagay sa team na to. They're really looking out for each other.
Yeah.
They like being alongside each other. There's genuine camaraderie. Nagti-TikTok sila magkakasama. So, alam mong nabuo yung samahan sa Kalaman. And siya napatatag nitong FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. It's stronger because of what they went through. And there will be more confidence from the team and in the system moving forward because nakatatlo nga silang panalo.
And which is why I will respectfully shoot down ito na mga suggestion ni Jezreel Banga. Sana may PBA All-Star versus Gilas Young Guns. Good idea on the surface. Ang problema, pag PBA All-Star, ibig sabihin, galing sa iba't ibang team. Walang time to prepare. Kakalabanin mo ngayon ang isang team na matagal na nagpe-prepare. Hindi sa sinasabing lugi, walang masyadong positive na madudulot yan para sa Gilas Pilipinas because you're gonna be playing a team that is not really a team. Maganda nga yung kung schedule permitting, di ba nag-offer din ng PBA? Kung natuloy tayo ng maaga, dapat maglalaro po itong Gilas Pilipinas group na to sa PBA bilang 13th team. That was what the PBA was gonna give the Philippine Basketball DSPP. Gagawin silang guest team. Ang problema nga, dahil nga hindi makapagbukas-bukas ang PBA, hopefully early July, balita natin ngayon, baka mga 7 or 9, hopefully, magbukas na po talaga tayo. Pero dahil nga sa July na mag-open ng PBA, dumaan na tong FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. Tapos merong sa Belgrade, etong late June, June 30 and 2:30 ng umaga yan eh. 29 or 30 or 30 ano.
30 to 1.
Basta 30 and 1. Basta 2:30 na umaga po yan. So magkakalituan tayo sa oras. And then pagkatapos niyan, meron pang doon sa August. Yun naman pong FIBA Asia Cup. Baka hindi rin nila makukumpleto. Baka pwedeng palaruin sila. Because I'd rather see this Gilas team either on TV or not, but if they can train against actual PBA teams,
Exactly.
mas maganda po yun. Kasi system versus system.
Yep.
Pagka all-star lang po kinuha natin and then sila, wala masyadong positive na madudulot nga po dahil okay, magbabantay ka lang na magaling, pero walang tatakbong, wala kang binabantayang tumatakbong ano, puro individuals yung babantayan mo. That's just me.
Magu, may magandang tanong dito. Sino po mas pogi? Dwight or Magu and Carlo? Pag samahin niyo po yung pogi namin ni Magu, si Dwight yung Korea, kami yung Thailand. Kayo na yung mag-compute ng final score.
Kulang ka kasi. Sino ba nagtanong yan? Kulang eh. Kaya nga, yung aming secret super producer na never nyo nakikita, pero may third window dito sa Zoom namin. Guwaps nga po pangalan yan eh. Pag sinama nyo si Guwaps, baka ano,
Ganun
hindi
pa
na
rin.
kami mababawasan ng konti yung tambak. Mababawasan ng konti.
minus 4 points. Ganun.
Aray ko.
Ano, Magu? May mga tanong pa ba?
Madami ba eh. Nalulunod na ako sa tanong eh. Pero nagugutom na rin ako. Yun ang problema.
Ano daw yung status ni Clarkson? Sabi ni Arian Paul Chodoro. Yun po, kailangan mag-present ng study yung SBP to try and convince FIBA to allow him to exemption to the rule kasi yung hinihingi natin eh, 'di ba? Parang exception to the rule yung hinihingi natin from FIBA or maybe a changing of those rules altogether. So same with Jalen Green, yun din yung hinihingi natin from FIBA. So the SBP will do its part to try and form the strongest national team possible for 2023 because that's what they want and that's what the Philippine basketball fans deserve. But it's not guaranteed because it will have to come with an approval from the governing body, yung FIBA nga.
Promise na lang din natin, Carlo, this coming week, pagka may new developments, lalong-lalo na, kung matutuloy, yung tune-up game with China, earliest niyan, kung matutuloy, Tuesday pa naman, Tuesday, Wednesday. Kahit po hindi tayo payagan ng misis ni Carlo na wag siyang pauwiin. Pagkikwentuhan pa rin natin pagka meron na pong nangyaring development at kung nakapaglaro na, yun ang gagawin natin as we continue to celebrate the glory that Gilas Pilipinas has brought to our country once again. Pero bago tayo mag-wrap up, Carlo, kanina, nag-game 7. Nag-overtime pa si KD. Stepping lang. Kung nagpa-pedicure lang yun eh. Panalo na dapat yung Brooklyn, di ba? Pero what a game that game was. A Game 7 going into OT. Everything you can ever dream about Game 7. How do you like them Bucks now?
One very short comment from me, Magu. The KD I saw with Brooklyn in this series against Milwaukee, mas nire-respeto ko yung ginawa niya in this losing effort than winning championships with Golden State.
Uy, hater.
Kevin Durant so much more in this losing effort than winning a championship with Golden State.
Hater na hater.
Positive lang tayo.
Pero for Bucks and Giannis, you gotta be happy for that squad. Jrue Holiday struggling 3 quarters, 4th quarter, bumuhos na. Pinatunayan niyang tama yung pagkakakuha sa kanya sa team niyan. Middleton struggled also but had his moments as well. And it's gonna be, I'm looking forward to whoever Milwaukee will play. Pero bago yun, eto, mapapanood lahat to kung kayo po ay naka-smart, download kayo ng video, kaya giga video, kaya double video. Libre po. Meron bibigyan kayo ng code, mapapanood nyo libre lahat yan. Live. Sa smart po yan, napapanood. At least, Carlo, kasi bukas, alas 8 ng umaga, Game 7,
Tama.
Atlanta, Philadelphia. Hahanap natin ang kalaban. Yung Milwaukee. Ang good news for me personally, yung Game 1 ng Clippers tsaka Phoenix, 3:30. Game 1 pa lang naman, wala pa si Kawhi, wala pa si CP3. Pwede akong matulog. Pwede ako matulog ngayong gabi. Kilala mo tayo, hindi tayo nag-chat lang tayo magdamag, Carlo. At least yung 8 o'clock game na yung mas importante, pwedeng itulog yung ngayong gabi. Di ba? Ikaw, matutulog ang LA, itong Clippers Phoenix. Tutulugan mo muna?
Oo. Depende. I mean, depends with the work that's required dito sa bubble. Siyempre, may mga kailangan tayong gawin bago tayo lumabas or mag-stay. Hindi natin alam kung lalabas tayo or mag-stay. But let's see.
Atlanta, Philadelphia, who you got? 8 o'clock yan. You watch it on...
Home ako lagi.
You can watch it on One Sports and you can watch it on Smart.
Oh, I'm picking the home team. I picked Brooklyn for Game 7 and I'm picking the home team for Game 7 as well.
Sana mag 50-50 ka. I want to see Embiid and Giannis go at it. And pagka lumusot ng Philadelphia, yung sinong bracket to? Yung Phoenix lang ang hindi ko makukuha sa Final Four to. I had the Clippers, I had the Bucks. Pag lumusot ng Philadelphia, dito lang ako sabit sa kabila. Kasi akala nyo Lakers pa yung hindi lumusot. Portland po ako doon. First round pa lang wala na. Ganun ako kagaling, tanggal kagad. Ikaw, so, Carlo.
Ako, wala. Patay na yata lahat na sa akin. Kasi yung finals ko, Utah, Lakers. Yung sa kabila, Brooklyn, Philadelphia.
Naku, Philadelphia na lang pag-asa mo. Magwa 1-4 ka.
Oo nga. Masama shooting ko.
Sa ngayon, 50% ako eh. Sana mag-75%. We gotta wrap this up, Carlo. Medyo mahaba na rin tayo.
Pero maraming salamat sa lahat ng nanood sa atin. I think ngayon lang umabot ng mga 450, 500 yung nanood sa atin na tayo lang yung dalawang naglolokohan dito. Wala tayong guest kahit isa. But we appreciate everyone. Again, sobrang paborito ko yung social media pag may Gilas Pilipinas game. I love Gilas Twitter. Yung sa Facebook comments at saka yung sa YouTube comments, not so much. Kasi paminsan may mga hindi tayo magandang nakikita that we really need to overcome. But in Twitter, napakasaya.
We just want to remind everybody, good vibes tayo dito sa 2OT. We welcome all the comments, positive, negative, criticism. Criticize nyo kami ni Carlo, criticize sa ating team. Basta for the better.
Ni Bimbi, wala namang problema eh.
Pero, pagka po may mga below the belt na tira, kahit nasa kalaban natin yun, kahit yung Korean na homophobic slurs, ganun. We do not condone that. Please, you can do that on your own pages. If you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just don't use our platform for it, please. Okay lang. If it's basketball, asaran tayo. Sige lang. Diba?
Happy Father's Day po sa inyong lahat. Happy Father's Day, Magu. Doon sa nag-greet sa akin ng Happy Father's Day, hindi pa po. Relax.
Happy Husband's Day pa lang. Happy Husband's Day.
Huwag kayong mapopressure. But again, Magu, we want to thank everyone who hung out with us. Napakasaya ng discussions. And surely we will have even more episodes of 2OT discussing itong Gilas Pilipinas. Because
especially this week.
Yep, it's a team worth talking about. They gave us hope. They gave us unity. They gave us something to look forward to for 2023. And for
they gave us the joy, the much needed joy, Carlo. We all needed this.
Agreed.
We all needed this.
And
promise, if there's any developments this week, the Carlo Pamintuan of Gilas Pilipinas will tell us about it here on 2OT. Salamat po sa lahat ng tumutok. This is season 3 of the Tiebreaker Times of 2OT on the Tiebreaker Times podcast family. 2OT is always presented by Smart. With Smart, live smarter for a better world. Through this initiative, Smart aims to create the spark in everyone to help change the world for the better. We all gotta be better. Let's all do better. Just like Gilas Pilipinas. Everything is getting better for Philippine basketball.